All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody this morning?
You're the most amazing creation on the planet. You are ready to regain your
there.
profit.
No.
We're fighting this war for our brain.
Where did you fall? Oh, you might be on another page. There you are.
Start with this. Start with saying, I'm enough.
I'm enough.
Rewired your brain.
Good morning.
I choose joy. You just rewired your brain. In this moment, I am filled
There we
with
go.
gratitude. You just rewired your brain.
All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope everybody's doing well. It is Tuesday, August 5th. I don't even have my phone. Questions, comments, thoughts on profit levers that we've talked about so far. How many have you used them? How often? How are you putting them into play? What are you thinking? What's your what do you like about using profit levers? Questions, comments, thoughts. Good morning. Good morning. No questions on them? You guys got them perfectly down. Outstanding. So we've been talking about the levers and understanding them. We did the marketing levers, we did engagement levers. Now we're going to talk about some presentation levers, the presentation levers, and what those look like. And that's where we really get into activating the protection levers. And the key to understand there is that if the marketing levers have gone awry and you didn't use them all, and the engagement levers, they've activated a whole bunch of protection levers, right? People ask me all the time, well, my gosh, people are building their business, they're getting clients, they're growing their stuff. This is what Wallace D. Wattles talked about. It's not about doing certain things, it's about doing things in a certain way, right? So I want you to just take a moment and ask yourself, how many of the levers when you were working in your business yesterday did you operate with? Or did you go back to your DMN, your default mode network, and find out that you're doing things the same way, expecting different results? What do they call that? Insanity. Doing things the same way, expecting different results. So let me look here for the questions. Hold on just a second. Okay, so let me put this over here. Are we in gallery view? We are. Put it in speaker view. There we go. Did I ever set it over to YouTube? I think I did. Yes. So, no question. So here we go. Presentation levers. So the thing that we're talking about when we're talking about presentation levers is that we want to continue the curiosity and the engagement that's already been established. Your prospect is now evaluating the conversation. Is this safe? Is this aligned with me? Do I trust this enough to take action? Right? So the key is, if people are resistant to the conversation with you, they don't believe that the process you're talking to them through is going to be safe for them. They can't trust that it will work for them. They may trust you, they may not trust the process. So the profit levers provide safety, clarity, and confidence, right? While their protection levers test for danger, overwhelm, and misalignment. So in the presentation levers that we look to pull, the first one is the safety structure lever, right? Is there safety in this whole thing? A clear roadmap reassures the brain that there's some predictability. What is the brain looking for? The brain's looking for two things. Will this kill me? Or how fast could I recognize the problem? And how fast could I recognize it and make it a pattern that I'm used to, so I don't have to learn something new? That's the key. So the protection lever, if you're not producing safety for your prospect, right, or for your client or for your potential business partner, you activate the safety protection lever that says, I don't know what I'm stepping into. That's what they're thinking. If you're not giving them the safety, if you're not giving them the comfort, if you're not giving them the comfortable feeling, they're going to say, listen, I don't know what I'm stepping into. And they're going to come up with a whole variety of other excuses that force them to say, I don't have time, I don't have money, right? When sometimes we know they have time and we know they have money. So the shift might be to walk with them step by step through what will happen next so the unknown becomes safe. This is the question why, this is a big reason why people don't show up for meetings, right? Oh, I'll be there Tuesday today. So today's Tuesday. I'll be there Thursday at the Thursday night meeting. This is where they do the presentation, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'll be there Thursday. We're like, all right, I got somebody coming to Thursday night's meeting. And they don't show up because they didn't feel safe. But they said they were coming. No, they knew how to get you off the phone. They knew how to get you off the Zoom. They knew how to get you off the call. They were never coming. They just know that if they tell you they're coming, oh, so they lied? Yeah, pretty much. They won't say they did. But people have become very good because it's so easy to prospect. People have become very good at coming up with ways to avoid making a commitment. I should say positively making a commitment. They'll make a commitment to you just to get rid of you. I don't know about you, but that used to happen to me a lot. Well, how do you fix that? How do you change that? Great. Why would you come to Thursday night's meeting? Well, they just told you they're coming. They want to see the program. No, that's not what they said. They said, I'll see you Thursday night. You assumed why they were coming. I'll always ask, why are you coming, right? Because if you assume, we know that one. So why are you coming? I want to create a safety pattern so that when they show up, they're going to be safe. They know that they can do it without feeling awkward, without feeling lost, without feeling taken advantage of, right? So that's the safety structure lever, right? These are profit levers inside a presentation. One is to build safety. The second one, which some of us are not that good at, some of us are getting better at it, a lot of people struggle with this, is the contrast lever. The contrast lever. The brain decides by comparing pain versus gain, highlighting the difference between staying the same and moving forward motivates change. Most of us don't tell this story, right? So the contrast lever is the ability to present a comparing of the pain versus staying the same and the gain versus moving forward. You know what the protection lever is? The objection that you get at this point is the delay lever. I'll do it later. I don't have time right now. I don't have money right now. They delay moving forward. We don't call it the delay objection. They have other names for it, like I don't have time, I don't have money, I'll do it later. I can't do it right now, I'm busy right now. because there was no contrast to where they're currently at to where they want to go. So the shift is, the way to have a new conversation with somebody is to show the cost of inaction gently without pressure, so they feel empowered to act today. That's the key, right? That's the key, is how do you present to them what it's going to cost them to stay the same? Maybe they're okay staying the same. Maybe there is no cost to them. Not everybody is meant to do what we do. So the question then becomes, can you do this in a way that affects them such that they say, you know what, I can't afford to stay here. I can't afford to stay in this state. I've got to move into my new capability and capacity. So that's the contrast lever. First one, safety structure. Number 2, contrast lever. 3, visual proof. Visual proof lever. A tangible evidence, screenshot, testimonials, demos, satisfies the brain's needs for verification, and it calms skepticism. How many of you share stories, share testimonials? How many of you still do 3-way calls? I know we think, well, 3-ways are that's old school. Old school's the new school, right? The key to understanding is that everything you say is going to be salesmanship. My daddy used to say, how do you know a salesman's lying? His lips are moving, right? So what can you do to keep people from activating all of these protection levers that say, you're just trying to sell me. You're just trying to get me in your business. So visual proof does that. Visual proof takes that away. That's skepticism, right? This proof looks staged. When you tell somebody, oh, they made $500,000 in their first 6 months, they don't believe that. It's not true. They've never met any place, unless they've got experience in this profession where somebody is capable of making that much money because they've got 30 years experience. But to say that somebody made $100,000 in their first, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months of this business doesn't bode well for the success of your business, because the person you're talking to has never met anybody who's made made $100,000 in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 200,000. And they never met anybody like that. So they don't believe it. Their brain instantly goes into skepticism. Which is why if I were having a conversation with somebody and they said, well, how much money can you make in this? My question would be, what would be a number that would excite you? And I'll find a handful of people who have done that or more, and you could ask them the questions. Because the number might be more than I've made in that short time. Then you get a number from them, and you take that number and you go have conversations with other people inside the organization who have made that or more. Sometimes the ones who have made more have made a lot more. The question then becomes, great, if I show you those 5 people, if I introduce you to 2 or 3 of those people, 4 of those people, is that enough for you to get started? I'm always looking for the commitment on their side. If I need to go to work, if I need to move some hay, move some energy, I would like a return. I'm not here to be Google for you, the prospect. Does that make sense? So if I'm going to go put the effort in and do the introductions, I want to know, is that enough for you to get started? I want to get a commitment. So the question I can hear people asking is, well, what if they still say no after that? Then we're done. There's no reason for me to continue to go forward. If they are not moving, if they are not willing to pull a profit lever to advance their success, I'm not that good at convincing people. I'm not in the convincing business. I'm in offering information that allows you to make an informed decision. Right? So that's the visual proof lever. The next lever, so we've got, here's the levers again inside of the presentation. Does your presentation produce safety? Does your presentation present contrast? Does your presentation present visual proof? Testimonial, a screenshot, a demo, something that satisfies the brain's need for verification. All right? Here's the fourth one, clarity lever. Now, we've talked about clarity levers in the other ones as well. The clarity lever inside of the presentation one simplifies the choices and reduces fatigue. The brain feels relief when the next step is obvious. I know sometimes when I go to the grocery store and I'll say, you know what, I'm curious. I want to go look for something, a kind of a healthy cereal. Now, I know that's an oxymoron with wheat and all of that stuff, and not necessarily, but let's just imagine if you wanted to go find a healthy cereal and you're standing in the cereal aisle. Anybody ever walked through the cereal aisle recently? How many cereals in the cereal aisle? Right? I'm not talking about just healthy ones. I'm talking about in total. How many different options do you think you'd have? Right? Anybody ever go to the condiment aisle? How many different mustards do you have available to you, or ketchups available to you? Right? One with sriracha, one with mayo, one with, I don't know. There's just way too many. So the brain gets into fatigue and decision overload. So as you build your presentation, does your presentation, whether it's the company presentation or one you've created, does it create clarity? Does it reduce fatigue of choice? Because then they're going to pull the delay lever. The delay lever says, this feels confusing. I'll decide later. So the way you shift this, the path that you might want to go down, is make the next step easy instead of multiple choice confusions. So the clarity lever, simplify the choices, reduces decision fatigue. Do you ever lay out the presentation, right? When a doctor talks to you about the operation, here's what we're going to do. We're going to prep you. Then we're going to give you some go to sleep drugs, the anesthesia. And here's what I'm going to do during the operation. I'm going to resect this area. I'm going to cut that out. And then we're going to sew you back up and we'll see you in recovery. Why? Because you know you're there for an operation. You know you're there to have something done. And the reality is you may not feel comfortable doing it. Even if you don't know what they're going to do, you at least want to know they know what they're going to do. So your prospect wants to know, where are you taking me? Where are you having me go with this conversation? Right? So the clarity lever avoids the confusion. The confidence lever, this is number 5, certainty in your voice, calms the amygdala. When you project grounded confidence, they feel safe. The lever they will pull, the protection lever, the avoidance lever, it's called the alignment lever. Are they confident or just pushy? That's the key. This is the one. You listen, you may do all the other 14 perfect. You get to number 15 or 5 in this one, right? The third one, 3 times 5 is 15. You get to this one, confidence lever, and they're asking, are they in alignment? Is this confidence or are they just pushy? Right? Are they confident or just pushy? So the path to shift is show calm conviction, not arrogance. Pair confidence with empathy. So it feels like leadership, not pressure. That's a key one right there. Can you be confident with empathy? I hear you. I understand you. Tell me more about that. I'd really like to hear more about that so that it feels like leadership, not pressure. Well, you just need to join. I don't know why you're not joining. You said you would join, that you should join. That's pressure. That's not leadership. So some of the takeaways, the presentation profit levers exist to lower the brain's final barriers to trust. This is in the presentation. We've already done the engagement, the marketing and the engagement. This is now in the presentation. You are still working on lowering the barriers to trust. Your prospects' protections aren't rejections. They're signals that safety, clarity, and alignment matter desperately to them. When your signal is steady, grounded in presence and gravity, you'll honor those protections while pulling the right levers to guide them to a confident yes. I know in the past, I've been doing this for in this particular world of network marketing, 23, 24 years. This August, we're in August now, so this has got to be 24th year. In the very beginning, people used to tell me they were ready to get started and everything else, and then all of a sudden a friend of theirs came along and they enrolled them. I was like, did I offend you? No, I just wanted to enroll with my friend. Okay. Right. There used to be a lot of, because of the way people would market, and this was particularly powerful or consistent when companies would close and people would go swim in the pool of all of the people who left that business. So, well, I talked to them twice and I was supposed to enroll them and they went with somebody else. They just had more confidence there. Maybe they offered them something else. Maybe they offered them a deal you couldn't offer them. Maybe they gave them something you couldn't give them. The reality is that you're in the business of doing two things: finding customers and building leaders. Those are the only two things you get paid for. You don't get paid for arguing. You don't get paid for complaining. You don't get paid for rejection. You just don't. You do not receive an income for anything other than finding customers and building leaders. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what is your state of mind? Are you going to go find a customer or are you working to build leaders? I would usually start off with leadership because it's easier to default to a customer. So I used to do customer and then try to convince them to become leaders. That didn't work so well. My first year, some of you know my numbers for my first year in the business. Not good numbers. I wouldn't recommend those numbers. And then when I decided to say, I'm going to go build leaders, I'm going to go build business partners, I'm going to go build people, my business changed dramatically. So I was using a lot of these profit levers. I didn't call them profit levers back then. I just knew that these all make sense, and I got better at understanding them, so that my presentation stayed right around this particular realm of confidence of conversation, right? My daddy said the only reason you have a presentation is so they can tell you how they want to get started. That's it. The only reason, if you're talking to a prospect or a potential customer, the only reason that you would engage in dialogue is so that they can tell you how they want to get started. Now, it may include what's the name of your dog, what's the name of your kids, where did you go to school, right? The McKay 66, the Sean 66. Are you asking those questions? How many of those questions do you have the answers to your business partners, the people that you're in business with? If you haven't asked those questions, if you haven't filled out one of those sheets to the people you're in business with, I can promise you they won't be in business with you long. It's just the way that it is. So, questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways. What'd you learn? What'd you like about presentation levers? Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka.
Okay, so how do you make them feel safe? I guess I'm still not quite understanding that.
Okay.
Because in my mind,
Yep.
I think they should feel safe, but maybe they don't. So
Right.
how do you ascertain that?
Well, you can guess, or the second way is, which I'm all for, is, hey, listen, we're about to spend some time together. What would you consider a safe conversation? There's no way, because if your mind is in the assumption that that this is a safe conversation, and their results are dictating or saying that they don't feel safe in it or comfortable, you've got to ask them, what would describe to me what would make this feel safe? What would this business need to offer you to feel safe? Not you. What would the business need to offer you to feel safe?
Well, that's very interesting. What kind of response do you get to that? Do people actually answer that?
Well, usually people answer any question that you ask them, right? And they can
No,
answer it.
sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just ignore it.
Well, they can answer it by running away. So then that evidently didn't make them feel safe.
Okay, so what can you please repeat that again?
So the
What
question,
you would ask them
the
about?
question, hey, listen, we're about to have a conversation. And this is where you would leverage, this is where you would speak to your
just
energy.
the question you just said to ask them.
Okay. The question,
because we've already had conversations, but this person just simply has not moved.
okay. So the question is
but
listen.
keeps coming back and asking little nuggets.
Yep. So the question is, hey, listen, I'm all for dishing out nuggets. My question is, what would it take to have a safe, productive conversation with you? Tell me what that would look like.
No, that wasn't the question you said. You said a different question before, which was perfect, which
Okay.
I was going to send him, but now I can't remember it. So I'm asking you to repeat it.
Yeah,
because
not
I'm
a chance. So about 36 minutes into the recording, you could actually go to YouTube, and because it's live right now, you can just go to the end and you could back it up and you could go listen to it again. But I don't remember what it was. It was a special question that came based upon our conversation. So it's about 36 minutes in to the about 30 minutes in, you'll find it. Where and if you just scroll through the YouTube, you'll see where it says Zoom user, which is you, and you'll see it pop up, and that's when you can start listening to it, because I don't remember the question. I got a good memory, but not for all of that stuff.
Oh my God, Sean, you're making me jump through all these hoops. Time I never get back. This was your question, was so
Oh,
perfect, but I can't remember it.
okay. Not my fault. I said it.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So once I get to
Maybe that's
YouTube,
maybe Louise typed it out. I don't know. You can check the chat.
Louise typed it out. I can't even I right now, I mean this is just crazy. I can't even get back to Zoom. Okay, now I am. Let's see. Ah, yes, she did. Yes, thank you so much, Louise. I love her so much. Yes, she did. Wow.
Awesome.
Look at that. See, it takes teamwork to make the dream work, Sean.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I greatly believe in that because my little brain by itself just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Louise. You just saved me some stress to go back to YouTube. I know you probably find that very funny, Sean, but I don't use YouTube a lot, so when I get there, I get very confused because there's a lot of stuff. Oh, she's laughing.
Awesome. We'll go see how that works with him and then go from there. What other questions might I be able to serve you with?
Well, you were talking earlier and how this was the marketing one, and
Okay.
what? Okay, so what were the other ones that
This was
you
today was the presentation one.
presentation?
Yep.
Excuse me. Yesterday
That's
was
all right.
marketing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yesterday was engagement. Marketing was the first one.
Oh, you see, I can't remember anything. This is bad. Maybe I am catching Alzheimer's or something. Maybe
Okay.
that's my struggle.
Could be.
You've, thank you for saying that.
Listen, a man convinced against his will is of the same mindset still. If I would have went, that's stupid. That's the craziest thing ever. Well, I don't know. And you'd have argued with me to try to own that silly statement. So that's up to you.
I was arguing with you to
No,
own
I'm
what the
saying if I said, why would you even speak that way? You to come back with, well, I can't remember stuff and I always have trouble and I have that you would have done things. And this is what happens when we start to when we this is a great training. When somebody pulls down their protection lever, right? And you used I may be getting Alzheimer's as a protection lever of going, well, I don't like to use YouTube and I don't like to do this. And I get stressed when I go there. You pulled a protection lever that says my identity is I have trouble remembering stuff. And I went, you don't have all what are you talking about? That's the craziest thing ever. The brain instantly goes into, well, I'm not going to admit I was wrong. We go into a defense
not
mechanism.
gonna admit I'm just too lazy to go there.
Then
Well,
there's that.
that may be, I mean, that's not, but that could be, but not, I mean, I like to remember things and then I start writing them down. I have to write them down and I don't remember them unless I keep using them over and over again. I mean, I sometimes can't even remember the simplest thing because my brain is maybe just too full. That's not an excuse because I do want to improve.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't even be coming
But look at
anymore.
all of the things you just said. I got to write them down and then I forget to write them down. You just gave yourself a whole litany of ways that it's okay for you to not remember. That's how powerful words are. That is exactly how powerful words are. And whatever we speak about, we bring about. And you just gave a whole litany of things of why you struggle with remembering things. I would say my brain is amazing in getting better.
My brain is amazing in getting better.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. 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 Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous. There's a lot to this. How many of you might feel a little overwhelmed understanding that you get to pull these profit levers now? I can promise you the challenge is that there's a lot of work here that needs to be done on your part, meaning us as the giver, the presenter, the engager, the marketer. that were like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. It's not a lot of work. It's profitable work. So my question to you is, would you like to create more profit in your business? And if the answer to that is yes, then I would encourage you to review these videos. To take a half hour, an hour, to go back and listen to these. They're there on YouTube. These will, once completed, be pulled, will be made private on YouTube and turned into a program. This is that powerful. You happen to be getting it at no fee right now because you're part of the inner circle. There's a lot of people who are watching this. The numbers of people who are watching this are higher than any other video series that I've done. So those of you that get to watch it now while it's at no fee, congratulations. I would encourage you to do that. So any other questions, comments, thoughts before I let you go this morning? Going once. Going twice. All right. So there are your presentation levers. Let me just repeat them for you real quick. Presentation levers. I was back up into the prospecting one. Presentation levers are those are engagement levers, the micro commitment. Here we go. They are the safety structure lever. Are you producing safety? The protection lever that could be pulled is the safety lever, right? If they don't feel safe, I don't know what I'm stepping into. The contrast lever decides the difference between staying the same or moving forward. What's the cost? And if you don't activate the contrast lever, the profits of contrast, they activate the delay lever. I'll do it later. The visual proof, tangible evidence, right? Screenshots, testimonials, demos. If you don't activate the visual proof lever, they activate the skepticism lever, right? And then the clarity lever, it's obvious to simplify the choices, make it easier for them. This feels confusing, right? Is the delay lever they pull. If they don't have clarity, they're going to delay it. And then the confidence lever, right? If you get them to feel safe, calm the amygdala, project confidence, they feel safer. Because if you don't activate the confidence profit lever, they activate the takeaway lever called alignment lever, where they don't feel you're in alignment. Are they confident or just pushy? So those are your conversations today. I hope today brings you great joy, great success. Enjoy your Tuesday. Remember, no Tuesday calls for a couple of more weeks while we're in the summer mode of late sunsets. I'm your head brain training. Find your profit levers and pull them gently. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
Thanks, everybody. Somebody give me some Costa Rica.
Pura vida.
We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping you keep pulling profit levers, Jessie Lee Ward.
Bosley.
We love you, girl. All right, everybody, in a little white fluffy floating around, gurgly.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
All right, everybody, go have some fun today. We will see you all tomorrow morning with more profit levers in the follow-up and connection section. We'll talk to you then. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sean.